All right. Good morning. Got my coffee. Got to have coffee. Um, can you hear my breathing? It's kind of high. Anyways, I got a story today to tell you. Okay, I got a buddy. My buddy runs a podcast for a company, kind of like I do. Wink, wink. I got to say wink, wink because if I don't say wink, wink when I put this on the podcast, they can't see me go wink, wink. But anyways, he runs a podcast kind of like I do, and he got involved with this company a while ago. And he went to the company and goes, "Hey, we need to take this podcast that we have internally and we need to go externally with it." And they went, "No, we're not interested." And he goes, "Well, wait, hang on. Here's the benefits. We'll gain watchers, which will make them trust us. We will become an expert in our field in their eyes. And in the long run, we'll create more profit." He said, no, we're not interested. So what he did is he went and he started this podcast outside the company. And he marketed to their potential clients and their clients on, let's say, LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn. Okay, so my buddy, Wink. Oh, there goes a car. I don't know. I think he made that car louder just because he knows I'm recording in here. That's my neighbor. It's his new Corvette. But anyways, so where was I? Okay, so he goes and makes this podcast. And he gathers up people, gets them going, gets interviews, starts really hitting hard on LinkedIn. Gets about 800 downloads a week. Now, not all those people are the clients for this company he works for. Probably about 10-15% are. That's still quite a few people for such a small podcast, but he keeps chugging at it. So he gets this email about him doing the podcast. And in the email it says, "We understand you're doing a podcast, and we're worried about you doing it on company time. Because, he's supposed to be creating and doing other stuff. So we're worried about him taking time out to do this publicly." So he emails back, "No, I do this on my personal time. My weekend's off. And when I'm not working at night." Sends the email. He gets another email back. "Well, it's when it's released. Now, right now, my buddy knows they're watching his podcast. So that's a plus. They know it's there. Well, there's a problem. It's because it's when it's released. It's during work hours. So the upper management thinks that you're doing this on company time." So my buddy was like, "No, I have an assistant, and I use a program called Buffer, and I release this at so it comes out during the week, but I've pre-recorded everything, and that's how I do it." An email comes back. "Okay, but the assumption is that it's done during company time, and our company doesn't know if they want to be related to this podcast or not, so stop doing it or you'll be fired." So my buddy, Wink, goes and takes everything off his profile or anything to do with this company to link them up, to have any relationship to the company. Starts a new podcast tells everybody on the old podcast to come to the new one, and keeps going. But there's no way you can tell that he's running this podcast. So he goes on for months. 800 downloads, 1,000 downloads, 2,000 downloads, 3,000 downloads. It's about 2 years later, and he gets about 20,000 downloads per episode. Now remember, that's 20,000 people, and about 10 or 15% of those people are related to this company's clientele or could be clientele. Now, out of that 15%, about 5 to 9% are decision makers. So he gets another email, and he's got to come in and talk to the vice president of that division. So he comes in, and this is what he's telling me. He sits down, and the guy goes, "Hey, how you been? Everything's been great. You doing everything? Is everything? Well, do you have everything you need? Is there anything we can do for you? Can we make stuff? You're doing great on your stuff. Anything you can do?" He goes, "No, I got everything perfect." He goes, "Hey, that podcast you used to do." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I take it you're still doing it, but you just took the name off of it." Yeah. He goes, "Well, we were a little harsh back then. If you want to say where you're from, that's fine." Well, see, the podcast is established, and there's no need to use their name recognition anymore. He goes, "No, that's fine." He goes, No, we were pretty harsh, and if you want to, we'd be honored to have your name on it." My buddy goes, "Here's the deal. When I came to you with this 2 years ago, you didn't want to drink the Kool-Aid. I started it off, got it rolling. You tried to shut me down. Now, it's successful, and you're realizing that a lot of your clients are listening to me. Now, understand, with a podcast like this, hang on, oh my God, means I need coffee. The elixir of life. So understand, with a podcast like this, in a B2B business situation, okay, if there's 20,000 downloads, 10% to 15% are potential customers. So if the podcast is 45 minutes long, that means I'm holding, or my buddies keeping potential customers of the company he works for's attention for 45 minutes, one time a week. Let's say 300 of them. Let's say 100 of them. 100 of their potential clients are listening to this guy for 45 minutes a week, every week, 52 weeks out of the year. Now, if they take 100 of their clients, their sales guys can't go to 100 meetings a week, 52 weeks out of the year. They only go to meetings 4 or 5 times a year with their potential clients, and their potential clients less. So do you see where the correlation happens? Do you see where the benefit is? This guy sees this now. No, we were harsh. Well, you didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Now you see that there's a benefit in it. When I tried to come to you 2 years later, or my buddy tried to come to you 2 years later, and then you shut him down. And now you see the possibilities. If you want your name on my podcast, my buddy's podcast, it's going to cost you $100,000 a year. without a hesitant, without a stutter, he said yes. What you do when you're creating content matters. Sometimes it's not always relevant in your face, but you have to look for it. It's okay to dream about what's around the corner, but don't forget to look at the opportunities that surround you. Got my coffee, and today I wanted to talk about posting on Reddit, especially ASMR. Okay. So, anyways, with no more delay, about the last 2 months, I've been kind of conducting a study. Okay, well, I have been conducting a study. And what I've been doing is I've been posting on Reddit in some of the ASMR subreddits. And I've been seeing how it affects, there goes my car, how it affects my retention time, my video retention time. And shockingly, here is what I've discovered. If I put a video on, and I think I have 560 followers now, which isn't a lot, but I was super happy when I just got one. At least somebody wanted to hear me. But what I've noticed is, when I put a video on and I just let it organically grow with YouTube, and then I converse, I comment on other videos, I'm active, I'm involved with other YouTube ASMR artists, I noticed that my retention time on a minimum is about 4 minutes per video. A maximum about 24 minutes per video. It just depends on how the length of the video, because I only do between 18 and usually 24, 25. There's been a couple long ones, but I keep them pretty kind of short. Now on my podcast, I'm going to start putting like long form rain sounds where they're like 8 hours long. That's where I'm going to put that at. But anyways, but I noticed that when I post on that same video, so what I do is I come in and I posted a video on just YouTube, didn't share it anywhere else. And I grew not huge, but I got some pretty good views. And the length was about between 5 and 10 minutes. So then when I did the next video, I did the same thing, but I did it in one day. So one day I got views, not very many, probably 50, 60. But the view duration was between 4 and 10 minutes. I went to Reddit and put it on Reddit. My views went huge. I went another 100 and a half. But my view duration, my how many people stayed on my video went down to 2 minutes. So I went, Now when I put it on, I took that same video and I put it in the Facebook groups, I went down to 1.5 minutes. So each person spent 1.5 minutes. So I would then put a video on, let it go its live, well, not its live duration, but let it go, a week with just YouTube. Not a whole ton of views, but good retention. I went to put it in Reddit. More views, the retention went down. I put it on Facebook. More views, the retention went down lower. So now I put a video on. I immediately posted at 6 p.m. my time, Pacific time, California. I immediately put it on Facebook. A lot of views, retention time is very low. So now I leave that video like that. Still, I have low views and a low retention time. That's telling me that because there's not a lot of retention time, YouTube isn't pushing that video out. I put on another video. I just promote this on Reddit. I get a low retention time, quite a few views, but not much organic lift. Because that retention time isn't there, YouTube's going, this video sucks, and doesn't put it out. I make the same kind of video for the next one. I just put it on YouTube. I get some decent views and retention time. The retention time's much higher. And what I've noticed is, after about an hour or so, I start getting more views. And I notice that these views sprinkle in. Instead of it going view, die, it'll go view, I'll get a lot of views, then it'll even out, but I've constantly got somebody watching it throughout a whole 24-hour period. There's somebody in there watching that. The views get higher. The retention time is higher. So what I think, you go on Reddit, you put your, I got a plosive. You put your video on there. The other ASMR artists that are on Reddit, they want to help you out, so they view it. But they watch it for about 30 seconds, hit like, cool, all that. I believe the same thing's going on with Facebook. Matter of fact, because I extensively did, I know that's what's going on with Facebook. You got people you converse with, other ASMR artists, they get on, watch it for 30 seconds, hit cool, put a little comment on it, and they move on. But if you leave it just with YouTube, people that are watching it longer. YouTube sees it being watched longer, goes, hey, this video's okay, pushes it out to more people. Now we're coming to shorts. I noticed that I can push shorts out at 8 a.m. in the morning. I'll get good views, not bad views, comparatively to my crowd. I get good views. If I release a long form video, if I release that at 6 p.m., I do well, because I think that's when people are coming in, they're relaxing, they're kicking back, getting ready for bed. On the East Coast, it's 9, 10 o'clock. That's when they're listening. Just my thoughts.